Greetings everyone, welcome to this League Starter Guide. I'm gonna start with a little bit off meta and go with Selena. I choose Selena because she was one of the most prominent on the leaderboard on day 1 and day 2. They were extremely fast, and it's because of their kit. Like at 15 to 30 minutes into the campaign and you get your hero trait, you get auto channeling. That means you can run and channel at the same time, or actually the build is channeling for you, so you don't even need to push a button. So all you do is having Howling Gale on there, and it's like a tornado that's flying around all over the place, and it's freezing enemies, and it's just basically when you get enough damage you never see the enemies on your screen because it's gonna off screen them. It's really nice. So because of the other classes now that have also their activation mediums included in their kit, they have minus 30 movement speed, which might be well, it is really bad, but you can also just use movement skills and stuff like that, but I think it's going to be a little bit slower. And I know this one is true and tested by other people and also by myself, because I like to level these in other so like I'm on the Asian server, but I like to do it on the EU one and American one, because I would like to see their leaderboard. So I like to level up a new character in those different ones, and I always choose Selena because it's just as easy as it sounds. You put on you use this starting skill until you get Howling Gale, and then you just use that one for the rest of the campaign all the way up to 75, and it takes me like 2-3 hours to get there. So it's very easy. Like, you cannot have an easier time than this skill, honestly. It's gonna look like this. Wait, there it is, too many tabs. So I'm just choose here because apparently the servers are down now for updating for the main patch. So this is a bad example because it's not moving. So you can see here it's just moving ahead of the person. The Howling Gale is just going around here, just doing its own thing. You can also direct it by holding down your mouse button, but that's the general gist of it. So first of all, I highly recommend to take a look at Discord server, because there's a section for each character here, and you also get promotion codes where you can get free stuff and stuff like that. As you can see here, someone tried out, it's 1 hour and 40 minutes or 39 minutes. So extremely fast to get through the campaign. There were some buffs to some legendaries were really good. So this one, for example, is going to be extremely powerful. Hopefully it's not too expensive. It gives 40 defense now, and also you can get both of these effects at the same time if you corrode them, because then if you corrode one of these modifiers, the left ring slot and the right ring slot does not affect it anymore. So you can have get the effect, both effect at the same time then. But of course it's going to be quite expensive at the start, and we'll see how it is. Some other small ones like Kismet's got buffed, like you can get more Kismets now, and you can get more legendary slates and stuff like that. That will obviously buff us also. So have an eye out for the new technology that comes up on the Discord. I made this document also that I will hopefully share in the description. So I made the day 1 here, and you can see here I wrote down some of the important things that you want to go for on your rare gear. And then you guys can match the picture here with the ones on the trade house. So some of these you get through the campaign just doing the golden zones, and some of them you just have to buy. They're usually not very expensive. These drop like candy, so it might be a little bit expensive at the start, but they should not. So these profiles were taken directly from day 1 on the leaderboard, and these were like, I can't remember if it was the top one or the second one of all the characters, of all the heroes in this game. So you can just take a look. This is mostly for myself, but you can see here, person was doing very good. I already have an activation or one of those noble here, but you can take a look at the links here. Obviously you're gonna struggle a little bit. I recommend going with the starting skill and then just go to Howling Gale as soon as you can, and you have to channel it yourself, but you just channel it up to 5 stacks and it holds on for half the area, and you just have to click it once in a while to just go for the 5 channeling stacks again. I went for a quick decision and the one that control destruction or something like that, or that might be from PoE, but it's the same effect as Path of Exile. The one that gives you less crit but more damage, much more damage, because we have no crit anyway in the beginning. Then I also copied the trees. I highly recommend to take these two, because it's gonna convert first 50% and 100% if you put another point in there of your physical damage to cold damage, which means it's gonna freeze people and it's gonna scale better with your damage and stuff like that. Highly recommend. He has 50 here because he has 50 more on a slate, so he didn't need that other point there, so he saved 1 point. You can get 100 conversion on the slate later on, so that means you don't need to take those at all. So just copy these, and I also copied in some of the candle he had, some of the pedigrees, and some of the important. Max channeling stack is king on this build, because we are a channeling build. The more channeling stack, the more damage we have per channeling stack and stuff like that. Here I copied in day 1, the one right behind it, almost as good. So that one is also kind of the same. Some other, a little bit worse, but a little bit more attainable if you're not far ahead. Like this person obviously had some currency, got some lucky drops, but this one is more relatable to a normal person, what they have. And you can see he has 2 points because he doesn't have the slate, he doesn't have all the things, he didn't have any candles or anything. He's still having good damage and was like level 95, 96 on day 1, so that is really, really good. Here's day 2. Obviously I've updated some of the stats you're gonna need for your gear. Cast speed is really good because it affects the frequency that the Howling Gale is attacking, so the more it just attacks more often. Really good. Physical levels, because Howling Gale is a physical that we're converting to cold, so don't take cold. You can see here he has the channeling, that one we looked at on Discord, so it was already good last season. Now it's God tier. We might need 2 of those, we'll see. I wrote down all the different supports here, and I also wrote down here the skill tree and what kind of special effect. I also copied in more slates this time, because obviously the people had on day 2, they have a little bit more stuff. Don't sleep on these things, because these are multiplicatives and they really help you to get more damage. I highly recommend, if you have the currency for it in real, like maybe on day 7, get this pet. It gives you +2 to channeling stacks. Of course, there's people killing. I saw one on killing one of these bosses on the leaderboard that did not have any legendary pets, so it is possible without them, so it's just an extra boost. So this is the SS20 kill, so really the pinnacle of what you want to achieve in this game, in the end game. So I just wanted one of these to see what I'm going to strive for, and you can just copy it in here. And then I copied in every rare piece he has here. Obviously some blessing stacking, some conversion, max channeling stacks, levels he stacks a lot of, and obviously the god tier scepter here. Obviously a normal one that is not corroded is fine enough. Some candles here, and I also copied in all the different slates. Slates are super important. Again, I cannot stress this enough. Most people that write to me have shitty slates. My slates on my Carina 2 build probably multiply my damage by 10 times or something like that. It's ridiculous how much damage it is. I also copied in the Kismets as on his Pact Spirit. Even if you have no good Pact Spirits, you can still use Kismets to supersede the mods that are already on there and make the build so much stronger. So it's less pay to win nowadays because you have these Kismets. And then I copied in the hero memories here on the side. Obviously went for a defensive route because you're gonna need some defenses when you actually come around to these bosses. So that's basically the gist of it. Make sure you just follow the day 1 guide here, and then just pick the biggest numbers in the beginning when the campaign is not super important. Keep track on your golden zones. Always level there. I always level there until I have 60% experience gained from the monsters. Then I go on to my next area, because you can get lucky in those golden zones, and when you kill the boss in there and you get one of the rare drops here, you can see them when you hover over the zone, what kind of rare or unique drops they can drop, and there's much more gear dropping in there, so you can have a like supercharged build when you're getting up to time mark, especially the last zone, golden zone, before the campaign starts, or sorry, before the beacon starts or the map starts, is super important, because you can get supercharged in there like crazy. So make sure you keep track of this, and just see what other people are doing. There might be some new tech going on, so Discord is your best friend. So I hope this helped, and I hope you have a good league start. Have a good one.